My name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tauvenga-Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, PM accorded traditional farewell ahead of COP23. First relocation of a non-coastal village in Fiji. And business population becoming dishonest, says tax chief.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
Prime Minister and COP23 President Vorenge Bainimarama was traditionally farewelled by the Ministry of Ethiopian Affairs as he will be departing for Bonn, Germany on Monday. Bainimarama says the traditional ceremony gave him another level of confidence to represent the nation at COP23. Anna Ravulo reports.
Heading to COP23 next week, Bainimarama says his focus will be to tell developed countries to stop carbon emission.
We don't need to ask these big countries. We should tell them that they need to reduce carbon emission as soon as possible so that climate change can be reduced and people to stop suffering.
Bainimarama says there needs to be a change of mindset from big countries as villages continue to relocate.
There are two big islands in the South Pacific. If these countries do not change their plan or attitude, these two islands will be underwater in 30 to 50 years' time.
The Ministry of Ethiopian Affairs gave their well wishes to Bainimarama on his journey.
I kneel on behalf of the 14 provinces of this beloved nation, wishing you well on the significant journey you are to embark on in Germany. We hope and pray not only you will do this for the world, but for your people.
More than 7,000 people will be attending the COP23 meeting on the first day. 100 delegates from Fiji will be part of the event. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
The country's first non-coastal relocation of Tukuraki village in the highlands of Ba was commissioned yesterday, providing disaster-resilient homes to a community that has been hit by not one but 3 disasters, one of which killed an entire family. For 5 years, the villagers of Tukuraki have lived in temporary shelters, but now they not only have safer homes but farming access to provide the community with alternative livelihood. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
In 2012, Tukuraki village suffered a devastating landslide, killing a family of 4 and rendering the village uninhabitable. 5 years later, the relocated community is not only surviving, but thriving.
I'm really happy and emotional at the same time. I really appreciate the assistance from the government in helping us build our house.
I want to thank the government for reaching out to us and lend its helping hand to help us when we were in need.
With government putting the village on its priority list, support for Tukuraki's relocation was threefold.
This relocation points out the fact that everyone will be affected by the impacts of climate change.
The partnership that has been necessary for this outcome, you can see, is a combination of partnerships, but it has been very much the vision of this community, of you, the community of Tukuraki, that have allowed this to happen.
First, the landslide, which killed a family of 4 and which affected all of you. Then a cyclone Even, and followed by Cyclone Winston.
The European Union provided funding of more than $756,000 for Tukuraki, and there was also a scope to include income-generating projects.
A fish pond, a poultry and honey farm, and these livelihood programs are expected to grow and diversify in the future for sustainable, healthy living.
In addition to 11 new homes for close to 100 people, an evacuation centre has also been built which doubles as the community hall. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Revelations have been made that close to half of our local businesses are not paying their tax dues to the Fiji Revenue and Customs Service. In an interview with FBC News, Chief Executive Viswanath Das said the business population is becoming very dishonest with their tax returns. Rachel Nath reports.
There is a total of 43,196 active businesses in Fiji. However, only 22,303 businesses are paying their taxes.
In terms of businesses, the compliance rate is around 52-54%. So there's a gap. There is a, if I can say, huge non-compliance in that space.
The Revenue and Customs is urging these businesses to opt for voluntary compliance or prepare to face the consequences.
We have developed networks with all the municipalities. So, all the business licensing that's happening, so we get that information exchange with them. So, the next time probably they'll go to get a business license renewal, they'll be asked for a tax compliance certification and, they will end up at the tax office.
Das says this dishonest behavior is unfair on the over 300,000 salary earners, as their tax dues are deducted at source by their employers. The taxpayers have also raised concerns on the unfairness of tax compliance by businesses.
We feel bad about it, and it's unfair for us because we all paying our taxes.
They should pay the tax. They're supposed to pay the tax because they are big business people and they are hiding the tax document.
I think businesses should pay their taxes because it's unfair for us Fijians as we were paying our taxes as well.
Das warns if these unfaithful traders continue this trend, they will have to pay up to 300% in fines. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
A 13-year-old boy took the stand in the Suva High Court this morning, recalling the day when he was allegedly raped by 4 men in Taviuni. The alleged offence took place between November 2015 and January 2016, and the trial was heard before Judge Justice Salesi Temo. The child victim told the court that one of the 4 accused persons called him into his home one afternoon where the alleged incident took place. The victim testified that he yelled and screamed in pain. However, the 4 did not listen to him. He said he relayed the incident to his mother when he returned home. The trial continues next week. The Permanent Secretary for Infrastructure and Transport, Paul Bailey, has resigned. Bailey tendered his resignation due to family commitments. He will continue to serve as the Permanent Secretary through to mid-November. The Public Service Commission has accepted his resignation and will announce the acting Permanent Secretary for Infrastructure and Transport in due course. Still to come, Fijians bound for security jobs in PNG and meant to race in heels tomorrow. Stay with us.
Moala rarada ranalika, o tikongona taon na Singapore, ando talifaka na wakaronga ng Bull FM, number 2 na seri.
Ya dora subuli kurna bili, iborani bat sekarang hambara binaranga. Total takinan na warongan ng Bull FM, number 2 na seri. Bula!
Bull FM, number 2 na seri.
"42 Fijian security workers will soon leave for employment on Manus Island, Papua New Guinea. They had their final check today and will fly out soon." Felipe Naikaso has more.
It's nothing new for many of these security workers who will be at the Manus Island Detention Center in PNG.
Where they are going to work is not an easy situation, but I think the people that have been selected and given the experience of we have had people that have gone to the Middle East and done all this kind of work, so I think they should be able to cope with that particular situation.
Manus Island is one of many offshore Australian immigration detention facilities where these men will be based at for 1 year.
The camps in Manus Island, I think, have been closed from the 31st of October. So it's going to be a delicate situation. It requires finesse and skill amongst the people that are going there, and I know that our people that are going, they do that.
The 42 personnel leaving Fiji within a couple of days to Papua New Guinea working for Paladin, they're really happy because what they've been paid for compared working here is a big difference. So I have no doubt in saying that they really like the contract which they have signed.
The security workers will be paid approximately 6,000 Fijian dollars every month. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
The Fijian Elections Office says more than 13,000 people applied to be election officials. Election Supervisor Mohammed Saneem says over 3,900 officers have already undergone the first phase of training, with close to 10,000 yet to be trained. He says the initial training was conducted for 3 days, but from next week it will be extended to 5 days. Saneem says they will be ready for elections by April.
staff, equipment, suppliers, vehicles, everything should be in standby mode, waiting for the announcement of the election date. Should the election date be announced at a later time, we might have to run a third round of training for our election officials to ensure that the content is fresh in their minds before the election.
Wouldn't it be fun to see a bunch of men trying to run in high-heel shoes? Well, in an effort to raise money for cancer research, tomorrow morning, Today FM is sponsoring a stiletto race at Albert Park in Suva. The event also aims to help create more public awareness of the disease. Kelly Vadala reports.
With October marked as a Cancer Awareness Month, Today FM has organized an initiative that will include Fijians running in shoes like these, all to show their support for people diagnosed with cancer.
It's fun because it's the first stilettos run. You wouldn't imagine people running in stilettos, but this is all for a good cause, and some may think that, why stilettos? Because it may seem impossible for you, but there are people that are fighting impossibilities each and every day. So this is just another way, a creative way of raising awareness about cancer and its prevention as well.
Today FM announces the event, which starts around 9 in the morning, will be a fun program for families to attend and show their support for participants.
I know it may seem like a crazy idea for men to run in stilettos, but think about the cancer patients. Help us honor those who are at every step of their cancer battle.
It's going to be so fun and epic, and it's also something great and something for us to give back to society. So if you're not doing anything tomorrow, please come on down to Albert Park.
The stilettos run will not only include members of the public who have registered, but also some FBC staff. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
A famous Qawwali group from India, the Sabri brothers, is in Fiji to perform. The group, which has made a few Bollywood movies, performed its first show in Lautoka last night as part of the Indian High Commission's Namaste Pacifica festival. It will run for 6 months in Fiji and around the Pacific to improve cultural understanding between the Pacific and India. Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum thanked the High Commission for facilitating the tour. Qawwali is a style of Muslim devotional music now associated particularly with Sufis.
Unfortunately, in Fiji, Qawwali at times becomes quite a bit of a, shall I say, quite denigratory type of performances, where people think that abusing each other is what Qawwali is all about, but it's not.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, young footballer enjoying stint in national camp, but up next is Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Construction industry makes plans to expand. And in growing Fiji, 40 households to benefit from new road. Stay with us.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, young netters get contract offers, but up next is Rachel with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Increase in RB Patel dividend payout. And in growing Fiji, farmers discuss the future. Stay with us. Welcome back. Leading business tonight. Plans are in the pipeline to expand the Construction Industry Council. Council President Gordon Jenkins says they are now working on initiatives with relevant stakeholders. The council comprises of major construction enterprises including builders, subcontractors, architects, engineers, quantity surveyors, hardware suppliers, developers and project managers, along with government representatives. At a recent meeting, the members explored a number of issues that contribute to restricting the growth of the industry. Jenkins says these issues included poor licensing of builders, conditions of contractual contracts, tender processes, building standards, shortage of trade skills and apprenticeship schemes. And we now join Rocco from HFC Bank with the latest from the money markets.
Vinaka, let's have a look at some of today's economic announcements. Last night, the European Central Bank released its interest rate decision, which was not much of a surprise as it remained unchanged. Today, we saw Japan release their National Consumer Price Index, which came out as expected, hence causing only marginal movement in the Japanese yen. A little closer to home, Australia announced their producer price index, which was lower than the last one recorded. And the US dollar opened the day stronger by as much as 15 basis points off the back of strong US data. We are expecting the United States to release its gross domestic product data over the weekend. And that's all from me for now. Back to you, Rachel.
Thanks, Rocco. Looking at today's exchange rates and foreign currencies in the Fijian dollar. The Fijian dollar weakened against the Chinese yuan and the American dollar to close at 3.13 and 47 cents respectively, while the Australian and New Zealand dollars strengthened to close at 61 cents and 66 cents. And the PNG Kina was down to close at 1.33. As for the commodities market, it was a mixed day with oil prices closing at $52.64 a barrel. Gold was down to close at $1,267 an ounce, and silver closed at $16.76 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, the concreting of Lachman Feeder Road in Sawani outside Nosori town will benefit around 40 households. The FRA has also contracted an off-road bus bay at Rambisar Chaudhry Memorial Primary School, which has addressed safety concerns for more than 500 children. This is part of the FRA's 2016-2017 Safety Improvement Project for the children on the busy and narrow Princess Road. FRA Chief Executive says it's not about the big projects, but it's also about what people need. And that was Business This Week. Now to sports. Here's Jamie.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, 7 changes to Ndrua squad for Sydney Rays clash. And Fiji Mbati ready for World Cup opener. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफरी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टोटो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
Fiji Airways Ndrua coach Senirusi Seruvakula has made 7 changes to the starting lineup for the match against Sydney Rays in the National Rugby Championship tomorrow. Moseseng Avindi moves to the hooker's position and will partner with Roni Maui and Samu Newa in the front row. Penny Naulango and Vasikali Mundua in the run-on list, with Sekusang Avindi at the halfback position. The coach has also named 3 new players on the bench. Meanwhile, the team wrapped up its preparations with the captain's run in Suva today. Despite a number of changes to the team and the chance to make the semi-finals on the line, coach Senirusi Seruvakula says he is not putting any added pressure on the team. Vastil Prasad reports.
A big chance for Fijian Ndrua halfback Sekusang Avindi to prove himself against Sydney Rays tomorrow. Coach Senirusi Seruvakula has a lot of faith in Gavindi, who makes his first start in the NRC.
He had he started from the bench last week, and he had a call and he stepped up again for this week. But this week he's on the run-on.
It's one of the important games for the Drua, whereby a win will put them in the semi-finals next week.
This week it's just the same as any game that we go into on Saturday. It's not to allow a lot of pressure for the players, and the boys been building confidence.
The Drua players, who have been away from home for nearly 2 months, have called on defence to come out and support them achieve the result tomorrow.
To be honest, we desperately need the supporters of the Fiji as a whole to come out in numbers and support the boys, especially the young players that have been given the task for tomorrow.
The host takes on Sydney Rays at 6:30 p.m. at ANZ Stadium in Suva tomorrow. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
The Vodafone Fiji Mbati wrapped up its preparations for the Rugby League World Cup with the captain's run in Australia today. The Mick Potter coach side will take on USA in its opening match tomorrow evening. The 2017 International Table Tennis World Cadet Challenge has been an eye-opening experience for members of the Fiji Pacific team. Though not all the results are going their way, the young players are showing a lot of maturity while taking on top overseas competitors. Meli Tavanga with this report.
Mel Iveti was up against the top seed from Africa in the individual event this afternoon. Despite losing out 3-0, the 13-year-old says it was a great experience.
Really hard, but I just tried my best to beat him.
The Cook Highlander will play his last individual event tonight.
Be the champion in this table tennis and have fun.
Meanwhile, 9-year-old Jay Chauhan had the time of his life playing against another top seed from Africa this afternoon. Chauhan put on a show even though losing out 5-11, 6-11 and 14-12.
The first two matches were a bit bad, not as expected, but the third match was a great match.
Despite the occasion, the young Fijian was not intimidated and had a positive attitude from the beginning until the end.
Winning is not everything. Sometimes you lose, you win. So yeah, that's all I learned.
Chauhan adds he had fun out there on the show court and learned a lot. The tournament continues tomorrow and ends Sunday. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
22-year-old Paula Mbuke is enjoying his stint in the Vodafone Fiji football team camp. The Naranga player was called to the squad after an impressive outing at the recent Courts Inter-District Championship. Rohit Deo reports.
It is every player's dream to play for the national team, and Paula Mbuke has scooped the opportunity.
This is my first step of being in the national team, and I think it's going well and good. I'm actually enjoying the training and with our coach Agama.
The former Xavier College student says he has played against his team members before, but this will be a different level.
For the players, they are not new to me, but what is new with training together and all, so that's only new with me today.
National coach Christophe Gamel says players like Buke are the future of Fiji football.
The process continues because they will represent maybe in 4 or 6 years, they will represent also the country. It's very important that we start now because we are already late.
The national side plays Estonia on the 19th of next month at Suva's ANZ Stadium. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The heavy downpour in Suva today did not deter teams competing at the Fiji Volleyball Interclub competition. The event is doubling as qualification for the Oceania Club Championship next month, which will feature the country's top 8 clubs. Eroni Tuinuku has more.
National volleyball rep Chiuta Watete believes every player has a unique skill.
There's a lot of talent all over Fiji. Just depends how we showcase it.
The competition will be tough since it's also a qualification for the Oceania Championship.
First tournament out of the many that we've had during the years. So like this, the beginning of a new season. And with all the talents that are coming up, we'll hope we'll mold it all into one and become a big firepower during the Oceania Games.
However, Marist Saints women's volleyball team has a positive vibe of making it to the top 8 next month.
I have faith in our girls, in our young, talented girls to take us through to the next stage and be one of the top 8 teams.
24 men's team and 10 women's team are part of this 2 days volleyball tournament held at the Netball Center in Suva. The top 8 team will be selected to represent Fiji in the Oceania Championship later next month. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
That's it from sports tonight. Join Angie later on with weather. And in our World of the Weird and the Wonderful segment, take a look at the 94-year-old woman who went skydiving for her birthday. That's coming up.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kuminasong mo tikola ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila talit, nagurara may naomanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
In new media, Chromebooks may be most popular in the classroom, but Google wants to ride that train out of schools and into the next phase of students' lives. The Pixel Book is the manifestation of that idea. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello to you and to the fantastic weekend. Yes, it's Friday and a rainy one as well. We could get used to wet weather. Have you noticed the weather trend lately? A bit of sunshine is around, but it's taken over by rain and thunderstorms. Looking at the west, it was a bit cloudy with few rain clouds. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, sunshine was also in, but it rained again with thunderstorms. And up north, a cloudy weather scenario was witnessed here as well. At sea, east to northerly winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. And for the tides, high tide early tomorrow morning will be at 1:01 with low tide at 7:33. See the beauty of sunrise at 5:29. For tomorrow, more rain is indicated with warm and sticky conditions. Tomorrow's Thames, Lotoka and Lambasa will be warm with highs of 32 degrees. And looking further on to Sunday, showers, and more showers. It looks like an indoor weekend for most of us. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked, what do you think of Drua's chances of making it to the NRC semi-finals?
Quite high. Fiji Drua plays like really free-flowing rugby, and they have a quite theoretical chance of finishing second, but they have a really high chance of finishing fourth within the top four, and hopefully we get to see a semi-final in Fiji.
I believe Drua can win the game tomorrow.
We think that they are 100% will go through to the semi-final, and we hope that we'll host one of the semi-final this year.
I believe the Fijian Draw will win tomorrow because they're playing at their home ground. I believe the Draw will win because they're playing at the National Stadium and they have the support at home.
I'm confident and I know they can win this match against on this Saturday because they are a strong team.
Recapping the main stories, PM accorded traditional farewell ahead of COP23, first relocation of a non-coastal village in Fiji, and business population becoming dishonest, says tax chief. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, should sex education be made compulsory from primary school level? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, today's shot of the day, this beautiful scene was captured at Natovi Jetty by Sheikh Haidar. We'd like to encourage all our viewers to send in more pictures of our beautiful Fiji, whether it's our tropical flowers, stunning waterfalls, maybe a visiting cruise ship, or even your favorite pet. Just send them through to email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Bye for now.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Kaya na rin siya. Utiko minasong mutikola ndo tali taka na radio Fiji 1 kina domoy viti.
Kaya kuyaga sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali tajiri ang gitu pinasabali, nagundurong varorong na radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nandumay viti na ponga ni BNN.